Story, story, story. Once upon a time.
Come close, come near, gather round the firelight.
Chidiuto's here to tell a tale to
From the
tell.
lion's roar to the tortoise plan.
Wisdom grows in every land.
African fables by you told. Stories old but always new.
African fables by you told. Lessons for me and you.
My children, gather round and listen well. This is the story of Mbe the tortoise, whose body was slow, but whose mind was sharp like a knife, and Odum the lion, whose body was strong, but whose thoughts were dull like an old drum. Now listen and learn that wisdom can silence even the loudest roar. A long time ago, in the thick forest, where trees whispered secrets to the wind, lived Mbe the tortoise and Odum the lion. Mbe was slow in walking, but quick in thinking. Odum, on the other hand, was strong and proud, but his mind was like a drum without sound, empty. One cool evening, as the sun stretched its red arms across the sky, the animals were going home after a long day. The parrots flew up to the iroko tree. The monkeys jumped from branch to branch, and the antelopes walked quietly to the river. Then Odum appeared, walking proudly. His golden coat shone like fire, and his voice thundered through the forest. "Listen, everybody," he roared. "I am Odum the lion, king of this forest. Who among you dares to challenge me?" The animals trembled. Even the wind stopped blowing. From a distance came a small voice, slow, calm, and full of mischief. "Eh, so the king has spoken," said Mbe the tortoise. "But what is a king without sense? A pot of soup without salt?" The forest became silent. The lion turned sharply. "Mbe, are you mocking me?" he growled. "Not at all, Odum," Mbe replied, smiling. "I only said that strength without wisdom is like palm wine without a cup, all wasted." The animals burst into laughter. Odum's eyes turned red with anger. "Tomorrow morning," he shouted, "meet me by the riverbank. I will show you that a lion's claws are sharper than a tortoise's tongue." Mbe nodded gently. "Tufuoku, I will be there, my friend. Let us see whose head carries true sense." That night, Mbe could not sleep. He turned from side to side, thinking. He said to himself, "Odum is strong, but he does not think before he moves. If I make him use his legs before his head, he will fall." He carried a small hoe and went quietly to the riverbank. There, under the moonlight, he dug a deep, wide pit, deep enough to swallow a whole lion. When he finished, he covered it with branches and dry leaves so that the ground looked smooth and harmless. As he worked, he hummed softly. When he was done, he smiled to himself and rested under a palm tree till morning. The next day, the sun rose bright and hot. Birds sang loudly, and the forest was alive with excitement. Odum arrived first at the riverbank. His tail swung proudly, and his claws stretched the ground as he waited. "Mbe," he shouted, "where is the wise talker? Come and face me." Mbe appeared slowly, yawning as if he had just woken. "Odum, good morning," he said. "Are you ready for our little contest?" Odum laughed loudly. "Ho, ho, ho, ho. Contest? I will crush you like a dry leaf." Said Mbe, nodding. "Before we fight, let's have a small race to the river. Whoever reaches first will be the true king of the forest." "A race?" Odum laughed even louder. You? With that slow body of yours? I accept. Good, said Mbe. You start from that side, I will start from here. When I say go, we run. Mbe quietly positioned himself near the pit he had dug. Ready? He shouted. Go! Odum leaped forward with all his strength. But before he could take 5 steps, BAM! The ground broke beneath him and he fell straight into the pit. Ewo! He cried. Leaves flew everywhere. Dust covered the sky. The proud lion had fallen into his own trap. Mbe walked slowly to the edge of the pit and looked down. Ah, Odum, he said, shaking his head. You ran too fast. Didn't I say wisdom comes before strength? Odum groaned. Mbe, please help me. I will, said Mbe, smiling, but promise you will never burst again. I promise. I have learned my lesson, said Odum weakly. Mbe pulled a long vine and helped him climb out. The animals who had gathered to watch clapped their hands and laughed until their sides hurt. Then Mbe raised his voice and began to sing, and the animals joined in. Ona bose we uche, oga daba n'ime olulu. Ona bose we uche, oga daba n'ime olulu. He who runs without wisdom will fall into a pit. The forest was full of laughter once again. My children, what is the moral of this story? The proud often fall into the traps they dig for others. Strength without wisdom brings shame. But the one who thinks before acting will always rise above. Amamihe ka ike. Wisdom is greater than strength. Ngwanunu. God yo.